West is directing some serious harassment toward Pete Davidson, who is now dating his soon-to-be ex-wife, Kim Kardashian. And he's doing so in the form of a music video he released, and it's not good. It's very bad. So before we take a look at the images from the video in question here, I just want to give you the context of how he's been kind of inciting people to go after Pete Davidson for a while now, even though Kim Kardashian has begged him to stop doing it. So here is a post on Instagram from earlier where he says, "Thank you guys for your support of my family. My family means more to me than any other accomplishment in my life. If anyone loves me and my family, if you see Skeet," and he's referring to Pete, "in real life, scream at the loser at the top of your lungs and say Kimye forever." Look, he shouldn't be doing this, but he's not well. And so it's like there's a part of me that actually feels really bad for him because he's unraveling and he needs help. But at the same time, he's directing harassment and stuff and violence against this dude who's just dating his soon-to-be ex-wife that he's still in love with but doesn't want to be with him.
Yeah, no, this story is actually kind of sad.
It is.
So because Kanye is unbalanced, I was super mad at him for a couple reasons recently. One was, he tried to run for president. The idea was and it's such a dumb idea, take away black votes from Biden so that Trump could win. I don't know if in his unbalanced mind he thought he could win, but he literally could not technically win. He was not in enough states to win the Electoral College, but I don't know that he even understands simple concepts like that. And so he was endangering the whole country. So okay, fine, he's unbalanced, but stop enabling him and get him some help. And then I was wondering what was going to happen with. Another thing that's just my pet peeve is that when someone is not mentally well and people call them genius, it drives me nuts. It really gets under my skin. I'll have to go to a therapist and figure out why that bothers me so much. But they're like, "No, Cenk, you don't understand. He's such a genius." Because
it honestly enables the person who should be getting help and treatment, right? Like it enables it prevents them from getting the help they need, I think.
Yeah.
It discourages them from getting the help they need.
Yeah, please, all of you, don't be irrational, okay? I say to the ether hopelessly. Okay, so in this case, now this is just personal between them, right? It doesn't affect everyone else, but it does affect Pete Davidson, and it does affect Kim Kardashian and their family and all of that. And I was wondering if Kim Kardashian was going to break up with him because he was just losing it, right? Last year, the year before, et cetera, and then she did. And then I was wondering how he's gonna react when she's going out with someone else, because of course she's gonna go out with someone else. And the answer has come in and it ain't good.
So she did reach out to him after that Instagram post, begged him to stop, and he's pretty defiant because the subsequent post looked like this. "Upon my wife's request, please nobody do anything physical to Skeet. I'm going to handle the situation myself." And so it shows a screenshot from the movie, I think Baby Boy? Yeah, Baby Boy, where you obviously see someone putting someone else in a chokehold. So that's not good. So then after all of this, he was called out for the emotional abuse that he's carrying out very publicly. And he remains defiant because he came out with this music video. And in it, the first thing that we see, it's an animated music video. The whole point of it is to bury Pete Davidson alive. And so it opens with that image. So first you see Pete Davidson, then there's an animated Kanye abducting him and putting a bag over his head. That's the next screenshot. We're not showing you the actual music video for copyright purposes, but the screenshots tell you everything you need to know. Then he gets dragged on the floor. So let's go to the next one. And then he gets buried alive with the bag over his head and everything. And then Kanye sprinkles rose seeds and pours water on his head. He prunes the roses from Davidson's head.
Yeah, okay, that's weird and disturbing. So
It's
stop enabling him, whoever you are around him, okay? So people made this music video, right?
Yeah.
People are profiting off of this. So, and they know Kanye fans, A, will buy it, right? And B, will back him no matter what. And they're like, there's money to be made. Maybe we're playing with Pete Davidson's life, and we're certainly screwing up the well-being, et cetera, of Kardashian family and Kanye's own family, but there's money to be made. Yeah, and that's the disgusting part, in my opinion.
And by the way, I think it's also relevant to bring up the fact that Pete Davidson has gone through a lot mentally himself, right? Suicidal ideation and things like that. And so this isn't a joke, and it's not cute, it's not funny. I want to be fair though, and note that Kanye West isn't the only artist who's put out some music videos that are not good, inciting violence and things like that. Remember Eminem had a pretty,
no, I was going to just bring up Eminem, and he did it with his ex-wife and talked about putting her in the back of the car and stuff like that. Yep. And look, that was problematic too, of course, right? But like movies, do you think Al Pacino was actually showing people his little friend? No, it's a movie. He's not actually a drug lord. And Eminem and the gangster rappers from the old days, they were talking about life on the streets sometimes, and they, in today's standards, went way beyond the pale in anything that these days, would be acceptable, et cetera. And by the way, a lot of them don't do that stuff anymore, especially against LGBTQ community, et cetera. But the difference here is that Kanye is putting out actual tweets and messages in the real world.
Right.
So it's not just entertainment, it's not just fantasy, even if it's a violent fantasy or wrong kind of fantasy. When he puts those messages out in social media, it makes it sound like he means it.
He's like egging,
and that's different.
He's egging people on. So yeah. I agree with you in that it is different. But looking back at that song by Eminem and the music video, and the name of the song was Kim. I remember it was in 2000 when it was released, and I remember I was in middle school.
And by the way, I remember it, and I was a fan of Eminem, and I thought it went too far. I'm
way too far. Yeah. And let's go to graphic 10. Actually, I'm going to read you just one excerpt. I'm going to read you some of the lyrics. Okay.
Okay.
Ridiculous. All right. Here, I'll scream with you. Somebody help. Don't you get it, bitch? No one can hear you. Now shut the F up and get what's coming to you. You were supposed to love me. Now bleed, bitch, bleed. Bleed, bitch, bleed, bleed.
No, yeah, it was
bad.
No, look, we have different standards today than we did back then. But even back then, I remember thinking, nah, this is making me uncomfortable, man.
It was 22 years ago.
Yeah, and I worried about his ex-wife. I mean, that's some serious stuff right there. And that wasn't normal rap. That was definitely beyond the pale. But he didn't follow it up by saying, oh, here's Kim's address, and if you see her, scream at her. Because guys, for the Kanye fans, it's okay to like his music. I got a couple of his songs on my phone, right? But you don't have to accompany that with, I will do whatever he says. Or I think he's a genius and he's, if he gives me direction, I will obviously follow it. No, if you're a fan of his and you like him, you should be rooting for him to get well and not go further down this road, which is an obviously disastrous one. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.